Hi, and thanks for joining me back here. So a friend of mine said to me the other day, how did you do that when it comes to this photo? So that photo was taken overhead from the car park in Birmingham. I don't know who the subjects are, they were just people walking by. And he said to me, the edit is really cool, but what did the original look like? So what I thought I might as well do was just show you how I went through the process of editing that photo. So just a bit of a background, no tripod, nothing else. All I did was I had a fast shutter speed. I'll pop all the settings in the description below, but I had a fast shutter speed and I literally hung myself over the edge of a car park. Don't put yourself into any dangerous situations. Please don't put yourself into any dangerous situations. I did it and I didn't hang over that much. I just literally kind of leant over a bit like that, but I don't want to see you doing anything silly. That disclaimer there. So I leant over and I took this photo. I took probably about 15 photos actually, but I think this one was probably the best one. I don't use my laptop or my computer to edit any of my street photography photos. I do everything inside the Lightroom mobile app, and I'm just going to give you a quick tour through how I edit the photo like that one. So let's just jump straight into it, shall we? Okay, so this is the photo that I'm starting with, and I always shoot just a little bit underexposed, just a little bit underexposed, and the reason for that is I don't ever like to lose any of the details in the highlights. Now this isn't a shot where there's a lot of highlights, but it's just the practice that I've always done, and I do it with every photo that I take, whether there's no kind of bright lights in there either, but it's what I do. So you can see it's a little bit underexposed. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a play with the exposure settings. So I'm just going to bring that up just a little bit, not too much, and I want to lift those shadows. And I like to actually lighten my images using the white slider. I just think it's a little bit less harsh, and I think the blacks are okay where they are. So I've got my basic exposure sorted, okay, but I want to make sure that these lines are as straight as they can possibly be. Now I think in the free version you don't get access to the geometry tab. I suggest you get the paid for version of Lightroom, because not just for this specific tool, but because the paid for version of Lightroom is just so much better. So in here you've got these options of playing with the distortion. You can you can do some crazy things like that. Just don't do that. Vertical, you can obviously use this to actually find, and the overlay here is actually working quite well. You could actually find that works for you, and then perhaps use the horizontal to find the line as well. But I don't tend to use any of those. I go straight into the little button here which allows you to find those lines yourself. So I'll just zoom in a little bit, and over here on the right hand side of the image I'm going to just select, I'm going to follow the brickwork down to make sure that's nice and straight there. And what this is going to do is it's going to analyse the lines that I've chosen and straighten those up. So you can see we've got this little white area here. That's nothing to worry about, because what that's going to show us now is we've now got a perfectly straight image. If I click done and then constrain the crop, I've cropped my image there automatically, so it's cut out that white dead space which is no use to anyone. And I want to crop it just a little bit further as well. So I think, let's not lose that. Let's go back out that way a little bit. So I tend to use the rule of thirds in much of my photography. So this lady down here at the bottom of the image, she's in the bottom third, and the woman's foot there is just walking into the top third, just there. And yeah, I know there's quite a bit of dead space there, but I think that adds a little bit of movement to, they're walking through the scene. So I think I'm quite happy with that crop. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to head over into the effects tab, and I'm just going to increase the clarity a little bit and just have a little play with the texture. I don't want to go too high because it just looks like it's it looks really false. Just one of the rules that I kind of follow is I always go too far and then just bring it back just a little bit, because that'll do you just probably what you need to do, because going too far makes things look horrible. I don't want to add too much of a vignette on this, maybe just a slight -5 on there just to bring the focus into the middle just a little bit. And I'm not entirely happy with the exposure, so I'm just going to go back into here and have a little play. I'm going to use the tone curve to do this. So generally speaking, I just find just a small change like that is just enough to make me feel a little bit happier about myself, happier about the photo, not myself. And maybe let's just bring up the shadows a little bit, not too much, and done. And if you hold your finger down on the image, you get your before and your after. Just be aware that when you do your before and after, it doesn't show you the before, the crop. But there you go, you can see clearly that's a little bit nicer. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add just a little smidgen of sharpening. If you hold down the screen and then if you hold on the picture and move your mask slider, you'll see there that anything that's white is what is being sharpened and anything that's black isn't. And I just want to sharpen just those edges, which I think is just fine. So share that, export to camera roll. One photo successfully exported. And then what I would do is share that to Instagram, which you probably saw in my feed last week. So Lightroom, I'm thinking about doing some of these tutorial videos. If you found this one useful, give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a thumbs up, give me anything that you can throw at me really that will encourage me to do any more of them. I really enjoy doing this kind of thing, and I would like to do more of it for you if you find it useful. So I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and take care and see you soon.